need the coroner, cause I got the heat seeker for any infiltrator attempting to circumvent my perimeter. Infrared detecting temperature of the backbiter. Hater, pretender, repeat offender, raise the filer, wanna be successor. Buried like lost treasure, I'm a drifter.
Wolf Entertainment, we here. You know where you're from, Jamaica, Queens. This is how we rock. Yo, it's been a long time since I rocked the mic. Now I'm back making tracks like a ninja bite. I've been upstate, got big, so the girls call me a yes, being girls like an open book. Oh, keep rapping, get out and push. You know, different whole sex to make my girlie push. Belizean waters, my order, transporter, new world order, sons and daughters. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. The wolf from Queens, you know what I mean? Kokomo and Dennis, we know 119. Across the street is my man, Getaway Car G. He had a thing for Hot Wheels, hot brakes. But tonight I give you all everything. The biggest hit of the year, and millions is what it brings. Man, it's packing up the Texas to crib. 45 at the red, my head and my done, I only have a life to live. My community been polarized and feels helping me like Tyson does it. Rock, give sons where I'm from, south side, or do or die. Only song survive the biggest crime is homicide. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. Ben Wolf Entertainment, we here, Jamaica, Queens. This is how we rock. This is how we rock and this is how we do. So don't let nobody screw you. You just do what you have to do. One, I'm out. Ow. Wolf Entertainment, we here. You know where you're from, Jamaica, Queens. This is how we rock. Yo, it's been a long time since I rocked the mic. Now I'm back making tracks like a ninja bite. I've been upstate, got big, so the girls call me a yes, being girls like an open book. Oh, keep rapping, get out and push. You know, different whole sex to make my girlie push. Belizean waters, my order, transporter, new world order, sons and daughters. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. The wolf from Queens, you know what I mean? Kokomo and Dennis, we know 119. Across the street is my man, Getaway Car G. He had a thing for Hot Wheels, hot brakes. But tonight I give you all everything. The biggest hit of the year, and millions is what it brings. Man, it's packing up the Texas to crib. 45 at the red, my head and my done, I only have a life to live. My community been polarized and feels helping me like Tyson does it. Rock, give sons where I'm from, south side, or do or die. Only song survive the biggest crime is homicide. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. I got a new product, it's like a gold rush when the files bust. Ben Wolf Entertainment. dream. We here, Jamaica Queens. This is how we rock. This is how we rock and this is how we do. So don't let nobody screw you. You just do what you have to do. One, I'm out. Ow.
We walk these streets every day. Somehow you try to make your life legendary, worthwhile, rememberable. But most of all, just want to be unforgettable. What I'ma tell you is something you should all know. How it's all unforgettable. How it's so unforgettable. I think you all should know. What I'ma tell you is something you should all know. How it's all unforgettable. How it's so unforgettable. I think you all should know. Time and time again, as I pick up that pen, as I hit these curves, all the ghouls heads turn. Who's a conspiracy? How many going to burn? Pacifies like a Baptist, but the water burns. Trial, tribulation, turn a soft cheek, but I stay in my position, watching them all freak. Outside when I be out on the beach at Miami-Dade County, when I roam on these New York streets. First take like Stephen A. Smith, swag and perk, the podcast is on, I don't miss.
All right, I think that's good right there. What do you think? Okay, greetings in the name of all that is good. I am G. Michael Reed, fresh from a whirlwind tour of the Baltic state, Germany. It's wow, interesting traveling. I'm talking about lots of time traveling. 10 hours by plane from Cancun to Germany, and coming back the other way, they say because you're in a headwind, it's more than 10 hours, it's about 10 and a half hours or almost 11. But it's a long flight, I tell you. Cancun, I flew in from Belize to Cancun, which was a added treat from my nephew who financed this whole program for me. And I must say thank you, Captain Herman Lockhart. Amazing young man. And then when I was coming back, my good friend Gary Sharon said to me, he said, G. Mike, I want you to enjoy this experience. I want you to see what it feels like to be in business class. And boy, I tell you what, it's a joy. It's when you think that some people live like that all the time, it's almost sinful. They just spoil you. I would not have had that experience, and I will not have it again on my own, free doing. I would not spend the kind of money. I mean, it's good to do that one time, and I enjoy it, but somehow I don't see the word of it for. Like every time you travel that way. You know, we have some of our officials travel first class everywhere they go, charged to the government of Belize. Did you know that Judge Price never flew first class? Wherever he went, it was coach. It was as humble as he could be. I think our politicians could learn something about that. I was out of the loop for a minute, but of course, I'm always in touch with my friends via Facebook, etc. So I caught a few of the things that were going on. One, of course, is the continued gun violence in Belize. These kids are just killing each other. And I saw something on the news, I believe it was last night, the Prime Minister was suggesting that the parents have to share some blame. And I'm 100% in agreement with that. I keep saying it starts at home. Stop the protecting picnic. In fact, our whole nation needs to understand that you don't protect the guilty. You condemn it and let them understand that there is wrong in what they're doing. But then protect the Lee picnic and no my Lee boy, do that, and instead of saying, you know what, child, come here. People will tell you, older people will tell you that when we were growing up, anybody could lash you if you get trouble. And then when you go home and complain, you get it again. Of course, during that time, people can rely on other people to do it for the sake of correction. Now you don't know what kind of motives a person have. The world has gone tipsy-turvy, I'm telling you, upside down totally. What I saw about Germany that I liked very much was the fact that it is a very clean place. You go eat off the ground. I did see though that we got down in a one area that everybody over there still smoke. You know, in Belize, it's tough to find an ashtray in any public place. And that I am with. I am with that. There it is. Let's say hello to Joe uh, in the house. Greetings, my brother.
Greetings, fresh from Germany.
Yes. Yes.
Did you bring? How much do smoke did you bring with you?
Boy, they weren't giving them away. Actually, you know what funny? I never even saw any money. I didn't use any money while I was there, and nobody does. Everybody they're moving to a moneyless society, and I think a lot of places in the world are doing that. You just take your card. And Levi me to tell me today I met him on the bus, young man from Belize living in Cancun. And he said his son is 3 years old. And his son he asked him, Dad, what want you today? How about pizza? And he said he got a card, but just touch it for in the order. You know, it's getting to the point now where they just touch it and you're good.
Well, I think for some time now they have been moving towards less cash. You know, you don't have to be carrying around cash. It started very much with the hotels now.
Right.
They were encouraging people not to come with cash. You know, as everything would be online or credit cards, which makes sense. So I agree with you that we are moving away now from cash.
And I don't mind, Joe. I kind of like it because first of all, robbers not gonna for rob your phone. It's so convenient if everybody have one card. I tell you what I noticed though coming out that the certain people don't use the card because they don't want to be on the system. They want to be trapped. They want to be outside, and that should not be allowed. Coming in from Mexico, the board, the customs people on the Mexican side insisted that everybody pay a 60 US tax to enter the country. And I'm like, I'm not sure they understand me. I was trying to explain that from what I know, taxes are to provide a certain service, to finance service to the people. Well, what service us just leaving the country is doing? I don't find that makes sense at all. And just passing through. And there was an American couple on the bus there with me, and they had to go and find some money because all they had was a card. You know, they travel with their card. Again, they not credit cards are accepted everywhere, and the Mexicans they not accept that. They want cash money and give no receipts. Something wrong, Joe?
Yeah, that's marks of. I don't want to use the word corruption, but carefully. To me, when any institution is encouraging you to use cash, it's evidently because they have their sinister motive.
Right.
Because cash is not something that people carry around. I know of a case just recently where the person committed fraud, and he colluded with another person in the hospitality industry, and we were somewhat connected to it. But they encouraged them to bring cash when in fact they should not be using cash.
Correct.
But the idea of encouraging the person to bring cash is because the person was siphoning off the cash.
Yeah, but that's why they do that. And because they can escape paying taxes also. Because that's the good thing with AI. That's the good side of AI. Because you could track transactions and whatnot. You know how much money is being passed. So based on that, you can tell what tax is to be charged, and a whole lot of other convenient things that are done. And I like it. I like where we're going with that.
Well, I just want to remind you of something, Mr. Chairman, of the douche and it tells you the history of when the conquered is being taken advantage of by the conquerors,
Uh-huh.
that it can backfire. If you look at the history of what happened in Germany, when the Allies, of course, defeated Germany, and under the Treaty of Versailles, they took away from Germany its capacity to build its military. They restricted it in what size military it could have. They took away the rural areas, which is the most industrial areas of Germany, and they took control over it. And the Germans became so impoverished that it took 1 million Deutschmark to make a US dollar.
By
That
God.
people were moving around dollars in wheelbarrow.
Ay, ay,
Now, I want to bring it up because we're talking about money indeed,
uh-huh.
but it shows you where, if you look at history, what had happened to countries, how because of being defeated, they create the circumstances for a rise in the case of Germany, and I don't want to stray away from the point that you were making. But in the case of Germany, the Treaty of Versailles, which indeed subjugated the Germans to some very difficult times, was what gave the rise to Hitler.
And you know what is happening now, right? I don't know when the swing happened, but their money is stronger than the US dollar. You take and they don't accept it. You have to go to the bank and change it, but you only get like 80 cents to the dollar if for the US dollar. So I don't know how it happened, but their money is stronger than the US dollar right now.
The Deutschmark is a fairly strong currency, and the dollar is beginning to lose its international status as a reserve, and especially with the coming into effect of the BRIC countries, no? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and now
Are
well,
they are they gonna create their own money?
yeah, what is happening? Some of them have already agreed that they are willing to trade in other than the U.S. currency.
Well, the Chinese, yeah, I know some of them are trading already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because China is a part of the BRIC countries.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember why the US currency is so strong is because it was used as an international currency reserve.
Not anymore. You can't use it at Cancun.
Now, what the point I'm making is that it is beginning now to its significance as an international reserve is being reduced considerably. In
You
other
know,
words, what we had before, because the US currency was supposed to be so strong that countries would want US currency all over the world. Whenever they are selling to you, they want US currency. So the currency was very strong. But then it begins to lose its strength when other countries begin to realize, indeed, that the US currency was being abused by the US. So other countries, beginning with China, Japan with the yen, China with the real, and them, they begin to agree, like through the BRICS countries, that they will accept currencies other than the US.
but it's tough to hold your currency up as being so strong when your country is $350 billion in debt. That's not an easy thing. I mean, how are they going to clear that out? And Trump was suggesting that tariff was the way he was going to do it, but apparently that has made no dent.
Well, the debt in itself, no, is not really the problem. What is the problem is if you incur such debt and are not getting the returns for the investment. That is your problem. So what you do if you begin to run up debts and you're not getting the returns, you keep running up debts. And when
But
you're running up the debts to the GDP, That is what is becoming very dangerous.
Who is this money owed to?
Well, whoever you are borrowing from, in the case of the United States, I would say that the yen or the Japan, the United States, Japan holds a lot of
Bonds?
instruments for the US and China. You know what? If China and Japan decide to close in and they want all their instruments to be converted, America could be in trouble.
Yeah, they until their bombs run out because they go bombing. They gonna drop bombs if it looks kind of like tricky. They're not gonna let it happen like that.
No, I don't think their bombs will be the solution. I think the bombs will only make it worse.
It might not be the solution, but it's damn sure it's gonna be the effort. That's the tool that America has turned to that tool every time, and unfortunately, might makes right in their case. Look at Venezuela. Look at all the other countries they've invaded and messed up. No, so
Yeah, but I agree. I take your point. But what I'm saying is that let's go back to the historical. Let's go back to the Bretton Woods Conference, which started it all after the war. It was at the Bretton Woods Conference they agreed. The world agreed that, you know something, there is no sense of having these wars. If we can sit around the table together, if we can have an international laws, we will be able to reduce these conflicts. And it's out of that came first the League of Nations. And then the League of Nations morphed into the United Nations. And that was what to bring an end to the law of the jungle.
well,
So it's no longer to be determined by power, but simply by laws. So just like how countries individually were being governed by the rule of law, the intention was that the world now will be governed by the rule of law.
but Joe, what's the use of having laws when certain countries don't even have to pay? Look at it. What the Israelis are doing right there. You know how many international laws they are breaking? How many how many war crimes are being committed? And then, but nothing is being done. And again, even the U.S. when they break crime laws is okay, but everybody else is supposed to, go to the dungeons.
You know, I listened to and surprisingly, it was an expert from the East Bloc countries. And I was at a meeting there at the United Nations, and the same issue came up. They were condemning the United Nations, criticizing it, that it's a failure, it's not working. And you know, at the end of that session, they were all beginning to change their position.
Why?
And why? Because they are saying that you cannot judge the United Nations by the wars that they couldn't prevent.
Joe. But here's the thing:
Yeah.
the United Nations, in that charter, there are specific points given permission to do what is necessary to stop the very things that are happening. The United Nations Charter gives the United Nations permission to come up with an army if they have to stop any kind of war crimes that might be happening. Why has that not been able to done? Then maybe you have to relocate it from out of New York City, though, I tell you that.
No, the relocation will not change it. But let me put the question to you this way, as that guy did at the United Nations, and I thought it was a brilliant way to put it. He said, okay, the United Nations failed. What is the alternative? It failed. You don't want it. What's the alternative?
No, that's a question that makes no sense.
Exactly.
Because, what do you mean there's an alternative?
It makes no sense because to be harping upon the failure, you are only creating unnecessary problems when you should look for
who's going to step forward? Who's going to bail that cat?
No,
because something has to be done.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, Mr. Chairman, if on the United Nations, given its charter and the way it ought to operate, and because it's not operating as it should,
right,
and you believe that it failed, then find an alternative. Now, there is no alternative. So what
then you correct it.
That's right. And that's what you have to continue to
How are you going to do it when you have nations flaunting their aggression, flaunting their violations of these very laws that are outlined there, and nothing is done? So that one paper tiger.
I differ with you strongly.
That one paper tiger.
No, I cannot say that nothing has been done. That is not true.
Joe, there have been warrants issued for a couple of people, and nothing has. They fly to New York or visit the UN with these warrants over their head.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, but the point that I want to emphasize and I want to bring out here, that even though the United Nations has a Security Council, which in fact is the powers of the world. Now, if they are the powers of the world, and if when they are to enforce decisions, they don't, evidently that's a failure of what the United Nations should be in terms of its laws.
How can you separate that from the United Nations?
No, you are not separating it. What you are doing, you are saying that there is a failure not of the United Nations Charter. The failure is the failure to comply. You see, you cannot say that something failed that has not been applied.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
How else should you describe that?
Let me describe it here in a different way, maybe. If the United Nations was supposed to be the solution to the laws of the jungle
and the problems of the world, of the world.
Right. Instead of having us solving problems by wars, all of us, and by conflict and things, and we said, no, let's find a way where we can develop an international community governed by international laws. No, if you are saying that it has failed, then tell me what is the alternative.
No, Joe, that one tricky fallacy of an argument there.
No, it's not tricky.
Just because you don't have an alternative does not mean that what you have has not failed. It has failed. Now you want to create an alternative, do so.
No, I do not agree with you, Mr. Chairman. I am saying to you, it's not the concept that has failed, it's the application of it.
How do you separate those, though?
Let me show you an argument that was made with the Green Revolution. The Green Revolution never failed. People thought it failed. What had happened? They failed to apply it. There's a difference between a concept failing and the failure to apply the concept. What is happening with the United Nations? The concept has not failed. What is happening to us is that the concept cannot be applied because there are some powers still that want to have this unipolar world, like the United States under this present president.
And they're the ones that host the United Nations. They're the ones that control it. They're the ones that can veto any measure passed, regardless how significant and important it is. All they have to say veto, and that with no reason given.
Yes, but what I'm saying to you, Mr. Chairman, if a responsibility was given to you within a human institution, and your responsibility will make a difference whether the institution succeeds or not. And if you neglect your responsibility and the institution failed, the concept of the institution didn't fail. What failed?
Joe. I have a home, and I have children. And I lay down some rules for my house. They keep violating it. Is it whose fault would that be? Because I didn't when it first started, and this is what they should be doing, what the United Nations should have done early. The first breach of these laws, instead of feeding them rope, keep on getting them work a show fire and going on, immediately they should have done something about it. If they can't do nothing, then that means that what you were talking about, that institution is ineffective, useless.
Therefore, if it is useless, then what is the alternative? But
you keep saying that same thing.
Because I keep saying, Mr. Chairman.
But let me tell you, hold up. You asked me a question, let me answer that. The alternative is to tighten the infrastructure, the checks and balances, make it work. Use the guardrails.
Tell me how you're going to do it. Tell me how you're going to do it.
By enforcing the laws that you have written for them yourself.
All right, who will enforce it?
Well, everybody, the whole world together then.
No, let's come back
to America is not the world.
No, America is a power in the world.
We know that. We know that.
And if it's the most powerful country in the world, then how will you deal with it the way you think you would? Let's come back to the
So then it's hopeless.
No, it's not hopeless.
It is hopeless.
No, it's not hopeless.
Were you going to wait for the person that's violating all the rules to stop and just feel
No,
bad?
no. I'm not saying that. Let's come back to the analogy. I thought you had a very relevant analogy when you came to the family. You're saying that the parents are there, evidently, and they are there telling the children what to do. And the children do not do what they're supposed to do. What should you do as the parents?
Put a spanking to that bottom.
That's right. You know why? Because you are the parents and you have the control over the power.
Exactly.
Therefore, no, when the children disobey, you can discipline the children.
Right.
So good analogy. Take now the United Nations, and the children are the community of nations.
Correct.
Right. But who are the ones with the power?
Yeah, but that don't mean nothing. The
Well,
power,
you are the parents had the power.
I can't see how. No, you're going on ridiculous path.
No, I'm
all right. Hold on. You're saying it.
I will.
The United Nations is the body, the family, the power. They have the who are in there have to abide by the laws that are drafted and put forth. Now, if you have a member country that's not abide, it doesn't matter what. If you have your house and your son bring a gun, that gun is the power. He can do anything. He could kill you with that gun. Are you then gonna just say, well, why? Because he got a gun, he got the power, he can't do nothing? No. Is that what we're gonna do? Do you see where I'm going with this?
No, I don't agree with that analogy. I agree with the analogy you made before with the family. But if you want to use the analogy of the son with the gun, then let us use the power then. The United Nations was not created for the power politics as it used to be, the law of the jungle as they call it. It was really the law of the jungle. It was the power politics. Before the United Nations, the world was governed by power politics. No, the United Nations was supposed to replace the power politics, knowing that the power politics can only be replaced while those with the power controls the power still. The hope for the United Nations would have come in removing the unipolar world into a more multipolar world. And that is where the hope for us and the United Nations lies. But
you tell about World War, man. You tell about World War because listen.
No, we are not. That's what we are trying to avoid, Mr. Chairman. A World War.
That's where you're going. That's where you're going.
We're not going there. That's why we are trying to avoid the law of the jungle.
No.
You seem to want to have the law of the jungle discreetly, and at the same time want to have.
How can you make that accusation? How can you draw a conclusion like that? What did I say to make you think I want the law of the jungle? What did I say?
What you are saying is this, that you're pointing out the failure of the United Nations as if though that the charter failed. The charter has not failed.
You said the same thing about you repeat yourself.
No, I'm not saying
you're repeating yourself and it makes no sense.
No. I am making good sense. I am conscious of what I'm saying. I'm saying to you, we have an institution, a human institution, right?
Yes.
So for us to keep the human institution functioning.
Yes. What do you mean keep? Keep it function. You just saying it failed. You just saying
I am saying to you, Mr. Chairman, you have a human institution. Call it the United Nations. Call it a nation state. Call it a family. Call it a community. Whatever you want to call it. It's a human institution. No, in a human institution, if the members of it are not prepared to carry out the rules and the laws and the regulations and the structure, it will not succeed.
That means if it doesn't succeed, it fails.
No, what failed was not the concept. The concept didn't fail because the concept of the world coming together as an international community is the way forward. I am saying if you choose, right now the United Nations is founded on an international community governed by international laws. Now, if you believe those concepts cannot work, I am saying to you, then name me the alternative. That's what I'm saying.
Well, listen, and that what you're saying, that one devious way of trying to avoid the point.
Explain to me
show me the alternative is not a good justification, but what we have happening here, man.
No,
And
but
let me finish that. Let me finish. Joe. Let me. I'm trying to make a point here.
all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
The
You go
point
ahead.
is that you have the United Nations, but they're not the world. The United Nations is not the world. The rest of the world together, especially now, like you have the emergence of India and China and all these other tough countries. They can put their foot down and say, "Listen, America, we're not going to let you continue to violate this. You're saying to the child, you're not going to bring a gun in this house." Let's first. I see. Was person in the social where we try to get on the show for the longest, and he might have some input to give here. Dickie Bradley, the one and only. Go ahead, Carla. You look
Oh,
good.
you know my name, Nakala.
Yes.
Good
Before you
night, gentlemen. Good night,
Good night.
gentlemen.
Good night. I'm glad you
Good night,
made it.
Mr. Dickie Bradley. But just make I finish my point and then I'll withdraw.
Go ahead.
I'll give you back the stage, Mr. Chairman. There is a difference between the failure of a concept and the failure of the application of the concept. One of the examples that was used in debates held internationally, that the Green Revolution failed. The truth is that the Green Revolution did not fail. It just wasn't applied. No, I'll finish right here. The United Nations, the concept of it, have been governed by the rule of law, international law. That is what was wrong there. Instead of nation states being governed by the rule of law, we wanted to have an international community governed by international laws.
You're stating the obvious. You're still not getting to
Hold on,
the
I don't know. The concept to me has not failed. The concept is good. We have a problem in the application of it. That is where the problem is.
Joe, you're repeating yourself, Joe.
When I'm repeating it for emphasis, I'm repeating it for clarity, I'm repeating it to try to get. You are not understanding what I'm saying, Mr. Chairman.
If it fails, it's not working.
No, that's not true. If something fails, it's not the concept.
Hold up. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Try hear where I said, Joe.
Good.
Right?
Tell me.
If something fails, it means it's not working.
No, that's not true. You're way off.
Dickie, did you hear that?
Sorry, I missed that.
Let me repeat it.
If something, hold on. If something,
am I thinking? None of yours.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Dickie. I am saying, you have a concept. And I use the example of the Green Revolution, but we are talking about the United Nations. Now, if you did not apply the concept in terms of its terms and conditions, you cannot say the concept failed. It was a failure of the application, like the Green Revolution never failed.
But the concept does not stand on its own.
Because it wasn't applied. And I'm trying
you're the filibuster. You don't make you go over and over the same point.
German, the repetition I'm making is for emphasis. It's not to try to dissuade
But how long before you emphasize we are going to say you?
Well, I'm finishing it right now. I am saying to you, Mr. Chairman, that human institution, through the whole history of the world, there are certain concepts that remain concepts that they were good concepts. But the concept in itself didn't fail. What was failed was the application of it. I finished my case.
Dickie, I'm trying to figure out how you could separate one from the other. The concept is supposed to be what you implement to make a project work. That fails. The implementation fails. He's saying, and I understand the concept might be well worthy, but if it fails, it fails. How can you just try to put that in a different light when in fact at the end that's what it is? Dickie, where they go on, man? Talk to me.
Well, a lot is going on.
Yes, it
and
is.
I have a couple minutes, so I decide let me go and hear what these intellectuals are sharing with the American Belizeans. I don't know if my being on can show their views. I like to see the views of people in the United States of America who are interested in what is taking place in the homeland. We have to give big credit to President Donald Trump for assisting large numbers of Belizeans to revisit in their mind how important it is to have a country of your own that you can go to when where you are staying is no longer as welcoming as it used to be.
Only you
I
can put that in a that
I would want to engage your attention to a matter which has gone under the radar because of other more flashy, sensational issues. And what I would want to draw to your attention is that last week, a judge in the Supreme Court, it's called senior courts now, a judge in the Supreme Court of Belize heard arguments for and against an issue which was being pushed for a number of months without getting any headway. That issue was that more than 7 months ago, Belizean activist Jeremy
Enriquez.
Enriquez
Yeah,
was in court on a constitutional claim
right.
when the judge took a break, and the allegation is that he did not turn off his microphone so that persons in the court, lawyers, assistants, um, heard the judge being disrespectful and dismissive of the case that he is hearing. In fact, it is alleged that he said that he don't make up in mind long time that he and that's where this case here and throw it out. When the people in the court, when the legal assistants and lawyers heard the gravity of what was coming out of the judge's mouth, they grabbed their phones and started to record him. As a consequence of that situation, Jeremy Enriquez's legal advice was, why you need to write to whoever is responsible to ask that that judge cannot continue on your case because he
Re-
don't express for him view.
Reasonable.
So Jeremy Enriquez wrote a respectful letter, and then, of course, like is customary in our young democratic country, nobody bother answer him, nobody study him, nothing was being done. He wrote several letters inquiring, can I be informed what is happening with my complaint? Can I be at least tell me what is happening? Nobody, they ignored him for 7 months. You ignore one, a citizen, two, a person who have an issue in court, and three, a person who has been fighting a constitutional matter and making some progress. You totally ignore him. What is his complaint? His complaint is he is among other citizens in the courtroom. Hear the judge that is listening to his matter make remarks which are disturbing and in his case frightening because they are alleging the judge made sentences which says, I don't make up my mind I throw that ass out anyhow. Those are not his exact words, but his words are that I have already agreed and decided to dismiss the matter.
You said they were
If we
going.
miss, give me a chance, yeah.
No, but I want to know if they will record all that.
They recorded as much as they could have.
But is that enough to substantiate that complaint to say
That
yes, that is valid?
those particular words are the words that triggered the enormity of what the judge was going on with.
That's right.
So we either take the view because we are a cynical, sarcastic.
But you didn't
people.
answer the question though. Did they
Yes, man, I tell
record
you,
that part of it?
No,
Yes or
when
no?
they heard that, they grabbed their phones and
To
started
record.
to record.
But it was too
But
late.
what they recorded is enough to raise the issue that that judge is biased and can't hear the case.
That's right.
We're not to distract ourselves over the little minute thing. The overall impression is that the judge is biased. That is a complaint that deserves to be treated with urgency and seriousness. It was not. So eventually, after more than 7 months of writing and getting nowhere, they decided we have to take that matter to court. That matter went to court last week, and a judge heard the two sides, the government arguments on behalf of the judge and the arguments on behalf of Mr. Enriquez. And the judge had some scathing remarks for the authorities that they did not treat such a serious allegation with the gravity that it deserved. This is not a matter that our people can just ignore, because one argument is that to bring this matter to the court is like a waste of time, waste the judge's time, waste the court's time, and that, you know what, Jeremy Enriquez and Elia should be ordered to pay the court costs, which include the cost of legal fees, costs, and other things. And the judge who heard the matter last week said, no way. How could you even think about charging this man and his legal team for bringing such a serious matter to the attention of the authorities? So let's just add in one more piece of information. Under the law in Belize, under the Constitution, there is a commission which is set up that is called the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. It is the equivalent of the Public Services Commission, for which our colleague Joe Coing, as a minister responsible for the public service, knows all the ins and outs of that body. It is also the equivalent of the Teachers Services Commission and the Security Services Commission. This is a commission set up in the Constitution, the supreme law. The supreme law is higher than the judges, the Chief Justice, the Prime Minister, all of them. We live in legal supremacy. We don't live in the whims and fancies of persons in authority. So the highest law sets up a Judicial and Legal Services Commission to be responsible for the overall judiciary and judicial officers and staff. The same way the Public Service Commission is responsible for all public officers, their promotion, demotion, transfer, hiring them, everything involving public officers. The Judicial Commission does the same thing for the legal judiciary. So then, my brothers, and I'm sorry there are no sisters, we need to do something about that. But my brothers, such a matter having gone to court and litigated in court, and the Judicial and Legal Service Commission has been pronounced upon, has been criticized, has been found wanting. Let us pause and say what they're found wanting in one more time before I rest my case. Citizens of Belize are saying while they are in court hearing a matter, the judge hearing the matter started making remarks, personal remarks, not his views in court, personal remarks when he thinks his microphone is turned off, making remarks that, in the view of everyone who heard it, who have signed affidavit and witnesses statements as to what was said, the issue is a judge in our Supreme Court is being accused of being biased. And the authorities responsible for ensuring to all of us that no, we don't have that kind of thing in our judiciary.
May,
They
I-
treat it
may, I-
sloppy. They treat it sloppily.
may I
They
cut
don't
in?
even
May I
treat
cut in?
it.
Because the case is being played. I said Greg come in and come out. Couple of things. Let me comment on it. On the comment that was made about the sisters, because I think the issues that we discuss is gender, not gender specific. There's nothing gender, and I think when we look at that, where we have to involve women in men affairs and men in women affairs, or the two party make one affair mean anything to me, not mean much at all. So I just want to say that for that, and we could go on and discuss that some more. Now, the next thing is that the case closed after those comments were
A
alleged to
judge,
have been uttered.
listen,
Did he
no, the
fin-
case was
did he come to a conclusion and try the case, or didn't?
no man. They
It
asked
was
that he
stopped
be,
at that point. All right, yeah,
they,
but we keep it simple. It was the case was stopped at that point, right?
yeah,
All right, and then Enriquez went on and filed a lawsuit because of what the judge
yeah,
supposedly said.
yeah.
Did he have witnesses out of those in the courtroom
Listen,
that went to say,
the case went to court and is finished. The judge, I'll call her name, Judge Hernandez, handed down her decision last week.
That's right.
that
A
that
very,
that
very serious
the
matter.
decision that Jeremy does not have to pay cost of court?
That is one part of the decision, but the other part, she found that the Judicial and Legal Service Commission was wanting
That's
in
right.
its sacred duty.
That's right.
Anybody make a complaint against a judge where there is some merit to it.
So
Anybody
are
who
they going to replace that judge now and
we
try
not
that
get there
case
yet.
again?
We not get there yet.
But what's going to be the
Anybody,
consequence of it?
anybody who has some little degree of information that a judge in our high court has conducted himself with bias. Everything stop with that judge and you deal with that issue. You
Obvi-
don't come 10 months afterwards.
Mr. Bradley, can
Obviously,
I come in? Can I come
yeah,
in?
directly. Hold on. Obviously, though, the judge was satisfied that the words that were uttered was sufficient to display bias on the part of the judge that was doing it. Why don't they just remove that judge and go on with the case? I mean, but we're going on to another case where now the judge is trying as to whether that judge was proper or improper, and has decided that they're improper. How does that now then apply to the initial matter before the court? Or am I
Well, you
just
would need,
not aware of the judicial matter?
okay, that is that's a side issue, but an important one. We need to understand that in order to maintain the type of judiciary that we have inherited and embraced, which is judges are not regular employees. You can't get vexed with a judge and kick out a job. You can't be dissatisfied with the decision a judge get or make and you find ways to remove him. Judges enjoy what is called in law security of tenure.
Right.
Once you go through the procedure to appoint a person as a judge, let's emphasize what we are dealing with. Once all that procedure is followed and you reach the decision to appoint a judge, he is then protected from the slings and arrows of what goes on in the country that he is a judge. The politicians could hate the decision that was reached because, like in the case of Michelle Arana when she was Chief Justice, she found that the former government had gone ahead and built a road through the Maya village without even consulting the Mayas, and she found that it had resulted in a large portion of dollars, millions of dollars. When the PUP come in, that they have to pay it because the last government, the decision we have made right around the time when they are exiting. But you can't, because you vex with the decision of a judge, decide we're going to move her out, we're going to kick her or him out.
But
So
can you? Can
on,
you? Yeah, I know, Dickie, but when you,
interrupting too much,
go ahead,
interrupting too much.
go ahead.
Hold on. You have to know if you hold your questions.
No, but you have to
You have to
also
know
know
if you hold your questions.
you have to know how to make some paint up though.
Because I'm hoping that I'm not speaking just to you, that the wider
I know,
audience.
but when I have 2 hours to do it in though.
No, man, they exaggerate. No, man.
All right.
Mr.
So,
Chairman,
so,
all right, go ahead.
so I'm trying to explain, brothers and sisters, that moving a judge out of office is a very, very, very serious matter.
Very weighty.
Very serious matter. So, what the Judge Hernandez has done in her decision, she has no authority to say the judge is to be kicked out. She is looking at a complaint, which is that we have been trying to get a hearing in our separate complaint, in our complaint that the judge in our case is biased, and we can't get no headway month after month after month. 7 months of writing letters. They dismissed the man complaint without even telling him.
But so they finally had the hearing though.
If what?
They had the hearing.
No, they don't have no
They
hearing.
had the hearing on a separate case.
Can you allow me an opportunity to speak on this issue? Can I? Mr. Bradley, the Judicial and Legal Services Commission, as I understand it, according to the court, abdicated its responsibility to do what it should have done.
Yes.
That's what it did. Now, when the matter was brought to the Judicial and Legal Services Commission, that's where the matter should have been decided upon.
Yes.
That's where it should have. But they didn't. They deferred it, which they should not have done.
Right. You got,
and
you got
we
it
went
right.
to the court, and the court, in fact, is reprimanding the Judicial and Service Commission. You did not do what you were supposed to do. That's what the court is saying. And I had the case.
Right.
And the point I want to make here, very important, these commissions were set up under this parliamentary system of democracy to ensure that public officers will be given fair trial, fair opportunity for appointment, for rewards, and for discipline. That's what they are for. Now imagine the Judicial and Services Commission, a complaint was made about a judge behaving in an improper way, and they did not take it up. That's serious, my brother.
Yeah. That's frightening. That's frightening.
It is.
Because what if? Because remember now, what went to court and concluded last week is just a complaint that we can't get a decision from the Judicial Commission.
Exactly.
That is what went to court last week, and a judge in the Supreme Court, incredibly, big respect to her, says that yes, they are sloppy, they are wrong. He said this complaint here, this one that we're not getting any response to our complaint, that should not have even reached the stage where the person have to go do a lawsuit. That is unnecessary. And how dare UNO, the lawyers representing the government, how dare UNO can tell me that I must charge this man for bringing such a serious matter to court? UNO won't pay him, no, he won't pay UNO. That's a decision of the judge last week, that a complaint by credible citizens with credible information could have been treated like that in our democracy. If this had happened in any other democracy, that judge would have been put in a corner. They hear the complaint against him, and if there is merit to it, then they trigger off a procedure to remove him from office.
So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, Dickie? What do we do now with that judge that was allegedly heard suggesting this, but it's not exactly what he was heard saying, because they weren't able to record it at the time he was saying it.
No,
What did they record? What did they record?
Mr. Chairman, they recorded it, but they never recorded it from the beginning. They didn't get it from the beginning, but they got enough.
Enough to that the judge was acting biased, man.
To deduce that what he said was could have been. You could deduce what he said based on what was recorded. That's what you're saying.
It's enough for any
All right.
reason.
No, what? And you're saying that a judge has a security of tenure, so there's nothing they can do to that judge. Is that
No, no,
correct?
no, no.
That's what?
So you said there's nothing they could do to that judge
No, I don't say that.
because he had.
No,
So
no,
what?
he didn't say that. He
Why?
didn't say that.
Why was the comment about security of tenure?
Because you need to understand, you can't just kick out a judge because somebody say or find that he bias, that he detect money on the back and take bribe, or so there is a procedure. Judges have to be protected.
Are they going to follow that procedure?
Jokowi was the minister and he knows it inside.
Are they going to follow the procedure?
They have to.
Well, then let them do it then. So what is the problem we have with
problem-
now? They're taking too long to do
No,
that?
no, the problem is this, Mr. Chairman. Let me tell you what is the problem again. We are saying that the Judicial and Legal Services Commission is a damn good concept. It is good. No, because the members feel you don't throw away the concept. You're dealing with the members, and that is
It's
what the
funny.
court. No, that's what the court is saying. The court is saying
You're tying these two in together. You know what? I might be the only one that does not understand this. Maybe all your audience understand. Hold on, let me speak. Sorry for speaking while interrupting, but I can make a point too, can't I? And I'm not going to take as long as Dickie takes to make a point. Now, I'm saying to you, it is only fair that we try to get to an understanding of what we're talking about, because we might have an agenda to fill. We might want to explain something that everybody understands and come on our side with. But I'm asking a couple of simple questions. The judge, what was obviously, if he said those things, he was wrong and should be removed from the case. Why can't he be removed from the case and another judge put on? Should not the case continue, or should the case be thrown out?
Because he was not put through that process, because the Judicial and Legal Service Commission sat on the complaint for more than 7 months.
Joe, stop co-sign, Joe.
What?
Stop co-sign.
No, because I
Joe
think-
doesn't co-sign everything
Hold
you're
on,
saying.
Mr. Chairman. Allow me to make this clear. Allow me to make this clear. What the man is saying is simple. You were to go before the Judicial and Legal Services Commission, and that's where the matter was to be decided.
Okay.
That's what he's saying.
All right.
What they deliberately, it seems, did not do it.
So what can we do about that? That it doesn't happen again?
What we did about it is exactly what Enrique's group did. They went to the court,
Okay.
and the court sanctioned the Judicial and Legal Services Commission and tell them they must act. That's it.
Listen, we have had Jeremy Enriquez twice on this show, and I'm very impressed with Jeremy. I agree with what he's doing, but what you're saying, what Dickie is bringing to us now, is something that happened in the court where, and again, I hear you using the words allegedly, that the judge allegedly said that, or he said something, but they didn't get all of it, and so therefore they're figuring that it was wrong. So, and then when Jeremy complained, they did not do anything about it. So he took it to court, and the court said, yes, they should have done something to it. You can't charge this man the legal fees for something like that. And so where are we now? That's all I try to figure out. Where are we now?
All right.
Can I assist Mr. Bradley? I will assist him in the sense that what you said, Mr. Bradley said he didn't say. Let me clear that wide out. Let me clear it. What Mr. Bradley is simply saying to us, and I think it's not difficult to understand. The matter should have gone before the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. No. It meant that they defy Mr. Enriquez's rights under the law, the Constitution. They defied it. So therefore, he seek redress to the court, which he should not have had to do. He should not have had to.
No.
Hold on, I can finish explaining. No, he did it. He went to the court. The court ruled that the Judicial and Legal Service Commission failed to do what they should have done. Therefore, Mr. Enriquez should not be charged cause of court, which they wanted him to do. All that the judge had to tell them, this man came here because you all failed to do what you should have done at the Judicial and Service Commission. Oh, and done right now, Mr. Chairman. It's as simple as that. No. The matter now must be seen that there was a serious violation of the rule of law and the rights of citizens for making a complaint to a body and the body did not take it up. That is very serious in this country, Mr. Chairman.
Greg, you got anything to say? Because you've been quiet there and listening. Uh, and your mic is off, Greg. Your mic is off. Your mic is off. Yeah, yeah. You're there. You got it. Go ahead.
Always a pleasure being in the same room here with you. So knowledgeable.
You're talking to Dickie Bradley, of course. You missed that part. And the
Now
judge,
you're talking to the
that part
chairman,
will
Mr. Bradley, the chairman
never
of the
record. That part will never record. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What I think happened was that the government was trying to get Mr. Enriquez to pay their costs of court.
Correct.
Is that what? Pardon me?
As
Yeah.
well, yes. Yeah.
Yes, and the court ruled that instead of him having to pay their costs, they should be paying his costs of entertaining the matter, since they had failed to have the Judiciary Commission act in a timely manner.
Yes.
You,
What I see going on throughout our country, and I think I'm seeing a lot of mishap in our court systems, and it happened in the last administration. I remember with some issues with the Referendum Act, just up to the time of the referendum that we're having for the ICJ. I see it now again in how the court is misbehaving, and I think that a lot of things are happening that is causing a weakening in our legal system to some degree. And I am afraid that I don't have a lot of confidence at this time in our current Attorney General. I think he has failed in many instances to act independent and as an advisor to the government in an appropriate way of informing them of legalities, because I see the Attorney General not as the lawyer for the PDP or any party that appoint them, but as an advisor that's supposed to advise on the constitutionality of laws that the government is intending to enact. And such, I think we are drifting not only at the court level, but at the point where our Attorney General is failing grossly. Do you have any insight on that?
there's you know.
Yeah, I was talking to Dickie.
Yeah, before you answer that, Dick, let me see. What I see happening is that Jeremy Enriquez took a very valid matter to court. He wants redistricting done because it's illegal the way it stands. We have shifted from that to trying another matter. That how the judge acted, did they take it before the commission? All of that, and the matter of whether we shall have the redistricting or not has been put on the side. It's not being addressed. But go ahead and answer his question, Dickie, whether the Attorney General should be a pawn of the government or not, because there were in the last administration two, may I remind for you.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm talking about the function and role of an Attorney General.
Correct, and that's a matter we should take up. Yeah.
Okay, let me try because it's one of those bulky involved questions. Let's start from the Constitution says that whoever is Attorney General shall be a Belizean. That is really interesting to me because it doesn't say that about anybody else. You know, even say in specific words, whoever becomes prime minister must be a Belizean. We take it for granted that, well, if you are non-Belizean, you can't even offer yourself a vote. But I start with the point that there are words in the Constitution of Belize that specifically says the Attorney General is to be a Belizean. Now, for me, that's interesting, and I'll just throw in one other thing without going to the details. That is interesting, my brothers and sisters, because Belize would be in the Guinness Book of Records for having allowed, and they're not just allowed, they are responsible. The government is responsible for allowing every judge in this country, including the Chief Justice of this nation, they are all foreigners. I was in the Court of Justice Judge Francis Cumberbatch today. He has been here, I wrote it down, since about 2019 or 18. I think he is from Guyana. He is leaving at the end of this month, next month. I happen to know that the end of this month, June, Judge Antoinette Moore has sent in her resignation, and she has not, none of them have reached their retirement age. And in a sense, I understand that two more foreigners will come to the country. Every judge in the Supreme Court is a foreigner. Every judge in the Court of Appeal, except for former Chief Justice Michel Arana, are foreigners. Like we're Ghana and we, my boy, that we are the only country in the world, not Haiti, not Jamaica, not Guyana, would have everybody, including the Chief Justice, as foreigners.
May I ask a question?
So
Do you
the
see the
issue,
rationale in that? Do you see any
I don't know,
rationale in that?
let me try and I want to fit in some other pieces into this puzzle.
No, but you still not answering the man question. The way they asked you about the Attorney General being.
I'm coming to that.
Uh,
Because the Constitution not only says that he must be one of us, it says the Attorney General is the principal legal advisor to the government of the day. In other words, he's not a government lawyer by law. Because I want to bring another matter into that, but let's start there. The Attorney General is the government's lawyer. He sits in the cabinet. He listens to meetings at the House. He's not a member of the House. He listens to meetings of the Senate because those two houses are so important in a democracy. They should have their own legal advice. Or you have the House of Representatives, which is not the cabinet or the executive, is relying on the cabinet and the executive's lawyer. So now let me just bring in one other thing and come back to the Attorney General. Or rather, let me finish this point. As the constitutionally appointed, authorized lawyer for the government, when you are the lawyer for a company, a group of persons, an individual or so, you, the lawyer, act on the instructions of your client. The client no work for you, you work for the client. There are clients who you can advise that this is the best legal way to proceed. This is a better way than you were proceeding because the law would be more on your side. There are legal issues where not because the Attorney General give an advice means the court would see it that way. But he gives his advice as best as he can. He has a staff of over a dozen lawyers. So it is unfair on the face of it to say that the Attorney General is failing because the Attorney General is carrying out the instructions of the cabinet of the country. He's carrying out instructions of a duly elected democratic government. So if that government, let us just say, what would be a legal issue?
Let me ask you one important question
Sure.
on that point then. Isn't
Sure.
the oath that the Attorney General take is to protect and to serve in the interest of the nation? Is it
No. I just tell you what the Constitution
No, I
says.
understand what you're saying. I'm
Yeah.
asking about the oath. I'm trying to see if there's a
No, well, all of
conflict
them
in our
take the same.
Constitution.
Yeah, all of them take the same oath which is in the Constitution. All of them take the same oath. A policeman, a public officer, a judge, the prime minister, there's one oath. You either swear to Almighty God or you affirm if you're not into that business.
So then the Attorney General has no obligation to abide by the Constitution if the government of the day is doing things contrary to the Constitution? Is that
He can't be blamed for that. The government takes a decision
Mr.
because
Chairman,
the
sorry.
government is his boss. He's not their boss. He can
Mr.
only
Chairman.
advise.
then don't we have a defective Constitution as it relates to the role and function of the Attorney General with that regard?
No, man, the Attorney General is just a lawyer for the government.
That's
Make
right,
the
Mr.
title.
Mr.
So
Chairman.
he's
Mr.
not
Chairman,
let me finish, Mr. I want to get this point.
Yeah, sure. I want you to finish because this is important, very
Yeah.
important.
So the Attorney General is not the lawyer to protect the rights of the Constitution and the state at all costs. That is not his role and function.
That is putting it too wide for his remit. All of them are to protect the state and the laws and so, but he is just the government's lawyer. That's all. He's
But
not no
I don't know any
authority.
other constitution that puts it in that regard. Is that consistent across
All
the
attorney
Commonwealth?
generals.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
you know why I want to come in? Because at the end of the show last week, when Jeremy was on the show, it was at the end the issue came up with the Attorney General, and we never had time. I agreed with Jeremy, I agreed with all the things he did, but when the thought came up that they were to sort of reprimand the Attorney General and ask for him to resign, that was wrong. But we never had time to discuss it. Mr. Gregory, I'm glad that the matter comes up back.
That's why I brought it up, because it was unresolved.
Because what Mr. Bradley is saying is absolutely correct. It was wrong to have brought against the Attorney General those allegations and those stigma, because the Attorney General advised a government just like how a lawyer advised a client. He tells the government, listen, you do A and these are the consequences. You do B and this is the consequence. Now, the executive, let's use the executive, decides and do A. And he does A. The Attorney General has all right to support it. That's what he must do, because the government is like a client in that sense. But to suggest that because what went to the court, the government failing, the Attorney General was not to be blamed for that. And I'm glad Mr. Bradley brought up that point, because it was unfair to blame the Attorney General. That was unfair.
But I see that as a defect, Mr. Corey and Mr. Bradley, because I believe that the Attorney General has, as the Attorney General of the country, has the legal responsibility to protect at most the Constitution of the country. And if there's a government that is enacting or dissuading laws that are contrary to the Constitution, I would think as the premier legal person in our nation, he should be protecting the rights or be abiding and advising the government on the constitutionality of their action. Yes, the government may go against what he is advising them on, but I am thinking that the role of the Attorney General is to provide that legal advice and to make sure that the government, he can't ensure it, but to advise the government on the legality. And if the government decides to do something illegal, then I don't know what his role is.
Mr. Gregory, if you allow me to, Mr. Bradley, please give me a little time. I will explain it to Mr. Gregory from my personal experience in there. If the Attorney General gave the government advice and the government choose to do A rather than B, the Attorney General has an obligation to go through with it. Now, if the Attorney General or a minister of government for that matter and a member of the executive finds that he has a fundamental difference in doing it, then resign. That's what he do.
Listen. An attorney, maybe we need to get one thing clear, because in an ideal scenario, the government would be the government of all the people. Therefore, the AG would not be a government for PUP, a lawyer for PUP government or UDP government, depending on who is in, but a lawyer for the government who is looking out for the interests of the people. And I think
that don't seem to be the case. That don't seem to be. That's.
No. Well, they're saying it's not. They're saying it's not. So maybe it's not. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
It's not.
It's ridiculous, though. If it's not, then it's ridiculous.
So
why do we need him then? Why not just do what you do anyway? Because that's what it boils down to. It doesn't matter what he says.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask you the question? Do you believe that the PUP government will appoint a rabid UDP to be Attorney General?
And they ought not to. I don't think they should appoint any rabbit, anybody. They
Yeah.
should
All
not.
right, let's
But
say, all
the
right,
leader should appoint. Hold
hold
on.
on,
Leader
hold on,
should appoint a
hold on.
rabbit PU. Hold on. I can say something to please. They can neither should they neither appoint a rabbit PUP. Just appoint somebody. Can't we find somebody who's gonna be objective?
Sorry, remove the word rabbit. Any government appointing people where the government is appointing a political appointee will appoint somebody who supports the policy and the fundamental platform of the government that they did. That's what they do.
The government of
So
the day.
therefore, the government, once elected, whether a PUP or UDP, a PUP government will not appoint a UDP to be an attorney general. That would be stupidity.
Obviously.
I don't think
I don't think
that's
Robin, I
true,
should
Mr.
have moved Robin.
That's
But
not
I'm saying to you,
entering the
I am
discussion,
saying
Joe.
here that the government appoints an attorney general who favors and supports the platform of the party of the government because he's a political appointee. And
Yes,
that's what
I
we have to
understand.
understand.
Yeah, no, I understand why they do that, and it's because he's in cabinet meeting and he shares a lot of the very private discussion of that party
Yes.
desire. But I still like the chairman says, I'm still very concerned and tricked by the fact that I always believe the primary role of the attorney general was to adhere and to advise on the constitutionality
Well,
of
let
laws.
me let me assist you. Let me assist you.
Yeah, I think it's
There is a situation where believes both parties in government actually one of them changed the constitution so that they could do it or start it. Belize was selling its citizenship. You pay a monk of money and
Yeah.
you get a Belize passport.
Economic
Citizen.
citizenship.
Yeah. The two parties then benefit and lots of liars made crazy money because Chinese were paying $25,000 to get their hands on a passport.
I hear
As a-
there's over 1 million Belize passport out there.
Well, I don't know the figures, but the point is that happened. Okay, what nobody foresaw back in those wonderful days when everybody made make crazy money is that the Constitution of Belize also says the child of a Belizean is a Belizean.
Yes.
Yeah, we glorifying that because all of Uno Ghana states, Uno
Yes.
parents were Belizeans, Uno the Belizeans.
Yes.
So Uno pick not the Belizeans. They might not walk on a Belize, they might not know they're the Belizeans still, and they
Yes.
acquire American citizenship.
Yes.
Now, guess what? 2 or 3 years ago, it started bouncing back on us. That all those lot of people were made to buy passport and becoming Belizeans. For them picnic and for them picnic where they out the the wider world of Belizeans.
Yes.
So we don't want serious thing because it could be that maybe some Arab terrorist has a passport that is Belizean and it could create problems for the whole nation, especially with the man who is in charge of America right now. Okay, so listen to this now. A person out there, because their citizen wanted to access some minor service here, and they were trying to block him, but he said, listen, man, see my passport, I'm Belizean, I'm entitled to so and so. Now they begin to realize, oh my goodness, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Belizeans out there who we don't know nothing about them because we didn't require the father to register the name of his children who would turn Belizean and so on. Whatever it is, guess what happened? They went ahead and passed a law to say that all the picnic they were turn Belizean, they're not Belizean anymore. So the Attorney General can say to them, the Constitution of Belize guarantees that they are Belizean. You pass any law, it can be challenged because under the Constitution, they are Belizeans. Let me jump to another issue. Redistricting. You don't have to be a lawyer to look at the section that says all the constituencies, they should more and less be equal. That are not even legal language. That are plain English. Look how long we had two prime ministers who were liars. Look how long they have allowed that situation.
20 years, I think.
One constituency tiny and the other one humongous. It's quite happy with them. The two party, they're not building any big worries about that. Let me throw
Mhm.
into that mix with the Attorney General question. Let me throw into that mix this one. It is a criminal offense for any citizen on the voters list or getting on the voters list to sign the paper saying my address is 10 Joseph Angel Street, San Ignacio Town, when he lives somewhere else. So the democracy has been sabotaged by the politicians
Yes.
who have allowed this to go on from one election to another. So the Attorney General can say to the government of the day, the cabinet, that that is a serious breach of a democratic principle. You vote where you live, but they don't have to follow his advice. Yeah, we hear you, and that is the constitution. But the people, they not find no fault with it. They're quite happy with it. So we don't want to touch that. So
But
you
we are
can't
that's we
blame,
are the
you can't,
problem.
hold on, man. You can't blame the lawyer for bringing to their attention what is the law and what are possible consequences, because they will say, we hear you, but we that they go on forever. We know they touch that. So I say all that to say to you that being the lawyer for the government, incidentally, I was an attorney general one time.
I
Being
know.
the
Yeah.
lawyer for the government doesn't give you any extra responsibility to chastise or to demand that they follow what the law is. You can only advise. The Constitution says he is the principal legal advisor to the government. Advisor not turn one second prime minister. You give your advice, you ask that it be recorded, and it is up to them to say, well, you can't deprive people of their citizenship, but then one day we will not know about where we want to pass on law. The law pass and nobody name know.
When we talk, I want maybe we put up with hand when we're done because the addendums just crazy, and we spend more time and murky the water than to clear things up, and that is my point. And Joy, you're all right because there's something about when we talk about matter, I don't want we clear it up as opposed to just go helter skelter all over the place and bring in a whole lot of different things. Now, as far as the
Agree.
Attorney
Agree, brother
General,
Chakaba. I fully
you
agree.
see, and we think, make we just, first of all, the first rule I learned in public speaking, say what you have to say and shut up. It makes a lot of sense. But just to go on and on and on and on, sometimes we stray so far from the initial point that we don't know what we do most of the time. No, I want to get back to this matter of this court thing with Jeremy because I'm in Jeremy's corner. I like the idea that if the Constitution says we ought to have equal amount of voters in a Constitution, then let us move towards that. I agree with you, Dickie. Both governments have benefited from it and they want it. But when are we going to do something about it? Jeremy is saying, let's do it. He's trying to do it. But now a judge comes up and allegedly says something in courtroom, and then the matter goes off in that direction. That we're playing right into their hands. How about we stick in with the redistricting thing and find out what we can do to make that right?
You
Mr.
missed the point.
Savage,
You
Mr.
you
Savage,
missed the
I have to differ with you on that.
hold on, hold on.
Hold on, Joe. Make the give make a case. I
You,
missed what
There are
point.
two points. There are two
you
points.
totally missed the point that I'm
That's
trying
right.
to bring to your attention
That's
on the
right.
panel. What is
Everything Dickie says right, Joe. Give me a
no
break.
man? Oh yeah,
Give me
right.
a serious man. No, go sign everything in the man.
But
Say,
hear,
give me a
hear me
break. Make
out.
it say, but he didn't agree with you before you say what you said, brother.
Yeah, hear me out, man. You just did distract. You did do the same thing you did accuse them of. You did
Yeah,
distract me from the issue. All
Let's
right.
let's go. Let's go.
So why you are wrong is because if a citizen is in court on a constitutional matter, which is being argued, and the judge basically turned around and said, fuck uno and that's the truth and then why here. That is why we can't get the redistricting and other serious.
So then let us deal with that, Dickie. I mean, how long you take care of a say something when
I talk long. Listen, I talk long because this is a show where we're supposed to talk.
No,
right?
but we don't want to get to the point, brother.
But when you get to the point, you finish, but I don't get to the point. My point is, if you do not see the gravity of a judge making a decision before the case even argued properly, that is why we are in the trouble we are. We take it for granted. Oh, you're going to the judge and you are. No, the judge don't make up his mind. Fuck you. You are a constitutional issue. I dash that out.
And that is wrong. We all agree that is wrong, right?
Yeah, but also we mustn't miss
But there's no but there. Is it wrong or is it wrong? Is
but
that wrong?
That over and over.
All right, so it's wrong. What do we do about that?
We can't do nothing about that.
We have to go do something about that. Then that is why. What is the problem?
That is
Mr. Chairman, let me come in, please. Jeremy was dealing with a matter of redistricting. He has not left that. But in the process of dealing with it, another matter came up, which is seriously wrong. When a judge was overheard saying about the same case of redistricting, that he has already made up his mind. So what came up is another matter caused by that judge, which you cannot ignore. But
we cannot ignore, but they keep saying we can't do nothing about it either. So
we can't. No, Mr. Chairman, you are doing something about it. It simply means that there are two issues now you have to deal with, caused by the Legal and Judicial and Legal Commission not doing what it's supposed to do. So he brought up another matter, but both of them are still before the court, and both of them will be dealt with. The redistricting continues on its course. It's not that it will not continue. It just happened that this other matter come up with a Judicial and Legal Commission that has to be dealt with. So that two matters now, one came out of the other, and they are dealing with both. That's what they are doing. They are dealing with both of them.
Your eyes are closed. Your eyes are closed, G. Michael Reed.
No. My eyes are open. I'm seeing clearly. I'm seeing clearly what is happening here. But I'm a distraction, man. And then Joe,
a judge being biased in a constitutional matter could ever be a distraction.
That's not what I'm saying. You are missing my point, Dickie. That is not the point I am making.
Which is your point?
Is that if we have a matter before the court in this district, then we go off now to deal with something that we can't do nothing about because you have said we cannot do. I am saying, how can we not do something about something so serious? Do you see my point?
No,
if this judge, wait a minute, hold on. If this judge blurted out what Dickie is saying, he blurted out. But Dickie is lawyer in the situation. He's coming with us with an allegation. They said, oh, he supposedly said that, and he started to say that.
Listen,
no, Mr. Chairman,
a judge considered what are the issue? The issue is this. I think you missed the issue. The issue is a complaint that the judge is biased. That a person who makes that complaint deserves to be heard with urgency and seriousness. The judge who heard the matter said, how could the Judicial and Legal Service Commission treat that like that? How? If they can do, make I tell you something where I didn't say.
So that judge is only asking the question. They're not suggesting that anything be done. They're not advising us to what route to take.
No man.
Yes.
No man what?
The judge found that the Judicial and Legal Services Commission was wrong.
And what are the recommendation that we should follow from here?
The judges don't make recommendation. That's what we are trying to tell you, man. I told you that there's a procedure to remove a judge, but you say
so who would make that recommendation?
Huh?
Who would make the recommendation that we needs to be made? Because if obviously it was wrong and found in a court of law to be wrong, should not be effort made to correct it?
No, it's not so easy. That's why you don't got the patience to hear the explanation. It's not so easy because removing a judge is a constitutional procedure.
Can it be done?
Yes, of course.
So I want to hear how easy because if it has to be done, let's do it.
Who want to do it? You?
You not carried that down to the court you gone before and the court says let's do it.
The point, man.
Oh no.
Make I try again, but
if
this
there is a point there, we ought to find another point because I'm not only missing it, the point is missing itself.
Miss the point, man. Listen. A citizen with lawyers and legal personnel in a court in the country of Belize heard sufficient things to sit down and write and say, yes, this is what we heard. The complaint is given to the proper body, the Judicial Services Commission. They sit on it, sit on it, sit on it, sit on it. You mean a complaint from lawyers and litigants that the judge in our case has conducted himself biased is to be treated like that? That is the issue. The issue is a judge is being accused of being a biased judge and nothing was done for it for almost a year.
What can you expect if the Attorney General serves at the pleasure of the government?
You
What
know,
do you
got
think
nothing
about
to
it?
do with this, man.
You know what to do with that?
I can't finish a sentence, man.
My God.
There
Really,
is
I can't finish a sentence. I want to spend half an hour to explain something when it make no sense, but I can't take 1 minute for explaining myself on matter.
Yes, sir.
And it has to be frustrating, man. It is frustrating.
because we have gone over the duty and responsibility of the Attorney General. You know, no
But what
super.
I'm trying to get to the point here is
Yeah.
what can we do about this? Do we just talk about it as we do everything? We just complain, we just say, no, it is wrong, but there's nothing we can do about it. And you started out by telling us security of tenure. You can't move a judge, you can't replace a judge. Then we do waste of time.
We not say that. I didn't say that.
Mr.
I
Chairman,
said it's a
Mr.
procedure.
Chairman, I'd like to comment again.
Let's move to another topic. Let's move.
Mr.
We're not
Chairman,
getting-
yeah, we
No,
are finished.
no, I don't want to move. I don't want to move.
I think we
because I am still tied up.
The security of tenure of judges exists. So does the security of tenure of all public officers in a sense. No. When he mentioned the security of tenure, he never mentioned it to suggest that the judge against which the court ruled that the Judicial and Legal Commission did not act properly to deal with.
That's a serious matter.
It's a serious matter. Therefore, I would expect that it must go back now to the Judicial and Legal Commission, who then will begin the process to determine whether that judge should be removed or not. That's the process. Now, the issue of redistricting is another issue that has not been put on hold. It continues, except that out of that came this egregious matter.
How does it continue? How is it continued? Tell me that. Because
It continues this way, Mr.
it's not
Chairman.
still in court because the judge is not going to hear it because they're saying the judge is biased.
Mr. Chairman, let me explain that part if you don't mind.
But-
As a layman, maybe you'd have preferred for me than the give the right.
But you know what? I'd
All
rather explain it without telling me to explain it. Because then
right. I won't tell you I will explain it. I will tell you what it is. The matter went to the court. The court is saying that the Legal and Judicial Service Commission did not do the job, therefore he must do it. So he go back to them and they must deal with it. Then we are find out what next. The question on redistricting continues. That continues in the process. And that's how
in what way is it continuing?
just as it was.
Well, I mean, just as well, tell me.
Because what happened with this judgment by the court has nothing to do with the redistricting.
No, but
process.
that's not saying how it's continuing. It's a
It's
simple
continuing.
question. You tell me it's continuing. Is it continuing in court, in the same court, or just in the public opinion?
No, it will continue through the same legal process.
It will, but it's not continuing yet.
Mr. Chairman, the matter
So,
was-
Joe, that was a simple question, Joe. Can you not answer that?
Yes,
That was
I
yes or no question.
no, it's Mr. Chairman. The matter of redistricting was before the court.
Yes.
Yes,
Still is.
but in the process, this matter happened.
Right. So we're going to this matter now, and then we put the next one on hold.
No,
You-
What happened? Let me get a
All right.
chance in. Let me get a
Mr.
chance
Chairman,
in.
then continue on a parallel track. One does not.
So who is here in that case now on redistricting? The same judge that made these comments
No,
and that
it's
is
not.
biased?
No,
Who is? Who is?
another judge.
Who is? And
They
so
don't-
they have replaced the judge.
That's Mr. Bradley. Mr.
Hold
Bradley.
on, George, no, I didn't ask you. They have replaced the judge then.
No,
You're
No,
the
they did
quarrel,
not.
man. You're the
But
quarrel.
you just,
Papa Chief
how
of
am
the
I
quarrel.
quarreling? I'm trying to get to the point.
But with the
Because
answer-
I'm not agreeing with you, then I'm quarreling?
No, with the
No.
answer, but you're not
Let
the
me get a
answer.
moment
Listen,
in. Let me get a
gentlemen,
moment in. Let me get a moment in.
gentlemen, we're not there for agree with one another, you know. Nothing
Well, I'm
wrong
happy
with
you know that.
what.
But you are
Let me
throwing up
let, let me get him. Let me
But
get a moment
why
in.
would it go
that
on like we have to
understanding.
agree? Why would it be like we have to agree with one another?
Let me get a moment in.
Yes,
They
sir.
The,
cannot go not try that. Go ahead, Greg.
yeah.
Go ahead.
From my understanding, both cases are in the court. They're at a stopping stage right now because first they have to determine how to proceed and move that judge that was accused of bias out of, even
Yes,
if he's
yes,
not guilty of it.
yes.
Enough evidence is there that he's not going to be a fit judge to continue the hearing of the redistricting. His the action on him will become a separate action line item that goes on, whether he's removed or whether he's just removed from this case, whether he's censured or whatever, or removed from the bench. Those are issues that are going to happen at some point, and those will need to happen. Some decisions will need to be made ahead of that, but they'll continue on the same track. Ahead of that will be a new judge will be appointed so that Mr. Enriquez could have a timely execution of
No.
his.
We don't even know if a new judge will be appointed
They will
because
need to appoint
that
a new
appears
one.
before the court, and Dicky is saying that it's not easy to do that, and you can almost
No,
not
not
do it.
to remove him, but
No,
to
man, that's
take
a
the case
removing
away
one.
from him
Aye, man.
is quite easy.
Take
I
him
am,
off the case and put another judge on the case. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
listen.
yes.
I
They
am,
could,
I am.
it's
I
quite
thought
easy
this
to
was
put
just
another judge.
only.
Why would
I
they?
It
thought
doesn't take the same constitutional lift to put a new judge on top to be the adjudicator of that case.
Is that what's going to happen?
It will need to
what's the
happen.
question? Sorry, what's the question?
Mr.
Oh,
Morrison,
We are
why are
here
well,
you
to,
to
we
muddy
are
the
here to
water?
educate each other.
The issue must
no,
not
that's
be.
not
Come
muddying
on,
the
hold on.
water.
Now the issue is not to be whether they want to put a new judge on. That kind of one issue. The issue is that the case will continue. Who want to
The
be the
case
judge?
will
We don't
continue, but I
know.
was trying to explain the tracks that will happen and follow. That they'll need to. Mr. Honda already compromised himself in what he has been recorded saying. So it is clear that he is unfit to continue in this case. The issue of how they deal with how he's compromised is going to be something for the commission to determine, the judiciary commission to determine.
Okay,
That's where we are.
Dickie. If
Yeah.
you were on the other side of this case, Dickie,
If
and
what?
if you were on the other side of this case, let me say,
Yeah.
if your client was taken before the court because some things that he allegedly said that they recorded only in our conversation that he had while his mic was on, could you win that case or would you lose that case?
Well, this is not winning or losing the case. What this is that in our system, should a judge even put himself in a position where there is the allegation that he bias, judges must not do that. It's not a
Uh,
question. It's not a
well,
question of proving that he did it or not did it. The point is, let me tell you just a little 2 minutes of the law. There is a law called the law of bias. What is bias? Bias is if a judge's son is charged for murder, he can't hear the case there. That's a bias.
I
No
would
care
hope
how
not.
he's the top judge. But there is another limb to bias. The other limb is that the appearance of bias is bias. If it appears to the reasonable person,
A law says that.
that- yes, man, that is the law. You think I'm going to play Hanansi or Bush liar with you? Why
Where,
you
where,
want to?
where is that in the Constitution or just the
No,
laws of
man, not
Belize?
everything in a constitution, man. This
They
is
can,
a
but they can just
founding.
guy ask you and come off like that. So that does not answer the question. You know
But
what?
you know
The
the
guy feels
listen.
stupid. Not that way to try though. You win your cases by making the next
I ain't
person
trying
feel
to win.
stupid.
Listen, you got bias against me because I win the cases. But I'm just trying to
Hey, to
explain
me,
to
even to
you,
represent that bias would not exist. So
my,
I'm
my
telling you, I
brother,
don't got no bias for that. No.
I'm trying
Yes.
to explain to you there is a law that bias is a serious matter. You want people in our country to believe that the judges listening to cases are biased and don't care how you put up
Dickie,
your
that
side.
goes without saying, Dickie. That goes without saying.
So
You
why you got
said,
this big fuss over this matter? The fuss over this matter is a
no, there's
judge.
no fuss. You
A
said
judge
something I'm trying to
conducted.
clarify. You
A
said,
judge. Hold on, man. Make I finish talk and then you take it over.
you're
A
not
judge.
done. You're not done. We got about half
That's
an
what.
hour left.
That's
Go
what
ahead.
discussion.
Go ahead.
That's
We
what
got about half an hour.
discussion. That's
No,
what
that's not
discussion.
time. We
Okay,
will try to get to a point. I don't agree with that.
You go ahead. You go ahead, guys. We're not gonna do it.
No.
A judge is not to conduct him or herself in such a way that the person who is rational and reasonable, not one, not two, not three in this case, believes he's biased. That alone is enough to cause problem. You would want to go to court fighting your case knowing that the judge don't make up his mind, that he said he don't make up his
But
mind.
that was a silly question. Why would anybody want to go to court when they know the judge? That was a silly question. Can I say that?
But
Mr.
that you bring it
Chairman,
up. That
Mr.
you
Not
bring
at
it
Chairman,
up.
you. Not at you.
Mr.
I am
Chairman,
trying to
Mr.
clarify
Chairman,
something.
Let me
You
ask
want
that. Let me ask that.
Mr.
Let me ask
Chairman,
that.
I
hold
want
on.
to try to
Mr.
clarify
Chairman,
something now. I am
do you
wrong.
know, Mr. Chairman, do you know that in the Constitution,
Uh-huh.
it's not the exact words,
Uh-huh.
but it applies to all public officers,
Uh-huh.
judges, everybody.
Show no
That we
bias
must
whatsoever.
conduct ourselves in such a way so as to leave no doubt in the minds of the public. That is a fundamental principle of all public officers. What Dick is saying to you is simple, that same principle.
Let
That's
me
all.
ask you another question, and
Make
I
we
hope
jump
it
on
doesn't.
another topic. Make we jump on another topic.
No. I want more on this thing here. It's kind of different, but same area. Who under our constitution and governance is responsible for for upholding the legal system and the responsibility of the constitution? Since I always thought it was our attorney general, now you tell me no, he's the retired hand for the
He
party that.
swears, yeah, he swears the same oath that all public officers, all ministers, all elected representatives, all police, everybody, one
Yes.
oath is sworn by all of them to
Everybody.
Okay.
uphold the laws of Belize.
But you told me who his employer is. His employer is the government, and he is responsible for the government and not for the citizenry at large.
But
So
the
I am trying
government,
to find out.
yeah,
Let me finish.
yeah.
I'm trying to find out who in our constitutional governance is responsible to ensure and to be the redress for to make sure that people are acting constitutionally when they have power.
The
Is there
judges?
such a person? Is it the Governor General?
No, the Governor General is a paper tiger. She is just a formality. If you look at Section 34 of the Constitution, it says the Governor General must carry out the advice of the government of the day.
Like the attorney general.
Sorry? No, the governor.
As the attorney general, because that's the same thing you
No,
said
man, the
about.
Attorney General got a totally different role than the Governor General. The
But
Governor
that's, if the government, if he advises the government on something and the government wants to do something else, what happens then?
If the government takes the advice of the Attorney General and tell the Governor General to do it or not do it, automatically
Dickie,
resign.
that was not the point, man. That was the question I asked.
What are the questions?
You're saying that the governor general has to do what the government tell him to do.
That is the Constitution.
I'm saying, it seems to me what you're saying, that the attorney general too, because they serve at the pleasure of the government.
Yeah, maybe, Mr. Chairman.
No. Let Mr. Bradley finish it. Let Mr. Bradley finish it.
Mr. Bradley, allow me to come in, please.
No, Mr. Cohen.
Hold on,
Mr. Cohen.
hold on,
I want you
hold
to
on.
have a legal mind.
Hold
No,
on,
I
hold on,
want
man. This is not a matter just about law, man. I am telling you the Constitution, man. Please. Don't make I even forget what I have to tell you.
I do that.
I'll run upstairs and get my Constitution.
Hold on.
You want to borrow mine?
Executive arm of the government in the Constitution, it gives direction and control over the management of all the subjects and departments under that minister. That's what the Constitution does. Okay?
Yes.
Now,
When
when
we're
it-
talking about
Yeah,
the
but
Attorney
hold on, man. The executive is the cabinet.
yes.
That's what they do. That's what they do to everybody other than.
But you introducing
Hold on, I can finish.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That's how we make it
I am
work.
telling you.
I don't care about the minister right now, Mr. Cohen.
I am saying, hold on, man. I got my pint back. I got my pint back again. What I want to make to you, man. No.
Okay.
When the law says that you're acting in accordance with the advice You must carry out the advice. You must. That's the law. No, when you say you act in consultation, you don't have to. So therefore, if the law says the prime minister will appoint a judge in accordance with the advice of the leader of the opposition, he must go with that advice. But it doesn't, because the law would say he will appoint the judge after consultation with the leader of the opposition. But when it's in consultation, he doesn't have to go with that. But when he's saying in accordance with advice, he must. That's the law.
But it's a whole new different thing from what we were talking about.
No, I am saying to you, Mr. Bradley is back. Mr. Bradley, what I'm saying to them.
No, Mr. Corey,
Hold on. Under the law, under the Constitution.
I'm not disputing
when it says that you act in accordance with advice, you must go with the advice. When you say in consultation,
no call Pandiki. No call Pandiki. As often as you.
That's not the
argument. I was there for over 30 years. I know the Constitution.
No, Mr. Corey, I agree with you.
I tell you something, Mr. Chairman. I was a public officer for 20 years. You go, how you want?
No,
You know, because you know the respect why they said to you. You detect me as if though I don't know.
No, that's not. You don't know why they laugh at that. You don't know why they laugh.
I agree with you.
Man, please, man.
I'm laughing at the fact that you're doing the same thing I do. It's get.
No, I am not going to do the same thing you do. What I come on the show for is to say how we can learn from each other.
Yes,
we don't learn from each other when we respect each other's.
Yes, we do.
And I am saying to you, I am listening to Mr. Bradley, and I'm not going to pretend as if though that if I did bias I have with Mr. Bradley, it's a bias out of his legal knowledge and his years of experience in government. Mr. Bradley served in the government for many years. He served. So therefore,
as a result, things are running well. Things are perfect as we want it now. Nothing is wrong. And because you guys have been there and you fixed it, my bad. How do I dare even question anything? Who am I to question anything?
Yeah. My concern, Mr. Bradley.
Yes,
I still come back to my question that I posed.
Yes.
I'm trying to find out who under our legal framework and constitution is the person that has the legal responsibility.
Nobody.
Nobody.
No one person or group of persons has that responsibility. How our system of government works, grounded in the supreme law, which is the Constitution, is that from the police officer, from the public officer, from the judicial officers, from the nurses, from the teachers, everybody owes a duty to everybody else. The Constitution, a wide-ranging document in the sense that it guarantees our fundamental rights and freedoms. All the rights you're here about, they are guaranteed by the Constitution.
Yes.
But there are other areas of the Constitution. That is only chapter 2. There are other chapters in the Constitution that gives a lot of authority to what you are raising that issue. The Public Services Commission is responsible to see that an army of public officers carry out the law when they are giving service to the public. They give the service to the public based upon legislation that comes from Cabinet and from the House of Representatives, and they give that out in accordance with the individual laws that govern customs, forestry, this one, that the one. They all have that important responsibility which you're asking. And maybe I shouldn't have just said, oh, well, they all take the same oath of office, because as lay people, you would not understand that. That is the allegiance that you swear to the nation of Belize.
Yes,
we used to swear that allegiance to the British, to the Queen.
Yes.
Joe Cowie was a minister of cabinet that changed that. Our swearing of allegiance is not to Her Majesty the King or the Queen. That has been changed. People don't even know that. So maybe what I probably did is went a little bit overboard, because I just wanted to show that one issue of several, because for me, it is shocking that a judge finds that the Judicial Commission sat on an allegation that a judge is biased and did nothing for almost a year. That is not to happen in our system. We know how the ministers, they cheat us. We know how the government, they railroad we and so forth. In the judiciary, people of integrity are saying, we heard the judge say X, Y, and Z. And that is a biased judge in our view. When that happens, my brothers and sisters, the system responsible for overseeing, adjudicating, and administrating the judges and the judicial process is to jump on that. Oh my God, we can't have unbiased judge in our system. We need to deal with that right away, because if he's biased, he's got to go. If he's not, then we explain to the public why he's not.
But if we understand the case that the judge was making the bias on was a case that was favored by the government to just do exactly what he was doing, to obstruct any effort to make sure that redistricting happened before the election. So the judge was
Was it
acting.
that deep? Was it that deep, you think?
Yeah, we can't go that far. We can't go that far.
We
Yeah.
can't go that far, but we know what it is.
No,
No,
we
no, no,
what
you
it
don't
is.
know that. You
we
don't
can't
know
say
that.
he's there. We
That's
can't say
not
he's there on behalf of the government.
statement. You don't know that.
No,
We
let me
know-
let me ask a question though. In that courtroom, did those people who hear the judge supposedly said that? Because I don't want to hear the recording what they did, how much of it they got, and
They got enough. They got a chunk. They got a
did you hear it, Gregory?
Yes, yes, I
You
heard it.
the
They
recording?
got enough to conclusively determine that the judge was
Well,
definitely
okay,
biased.
well, next part of my question is moot, because I want to know if the people who are saying he did were just members of the
No, no,
one side of the
no.
case or
It's
not.
an
All right.
attorney was list. Let me explain the scenario. There was a hearing.
Where did you hear the recording?
I heard it on TV. There was. Let me
Hold
explain.
on, don't run past it. Did they play that recording on TV?
Yes, yes.
Where?
They played it. They played it. They played it in
Where?
court. They played it in court.
No. But the court was not on TV. Did they play that recording on TV?
Yes.
Where on TV? When? In a newscast? In a show with
it was
somebody?
We did divert.
No, but that question is relevant. Not
Yeah,
divert
but
from it.
listen, man,
I
listen.
want to know.
Let me
But
say,
he
Chairman,
might,
it was in the
he
public
might help me.
forum.
He
It was
might
in the
help me,
public
man.
forum.
Listen, the
But
issue
gentlemen,
is, the
But
issue
gentlemen, the
is,
matter went to the court, and the court accepted what they said is to be true. That's why he sanctioned the Judicial and Legal Commission and refer it back. So the matter has
he
already
might,
been decided.
the issue is, an allegation is made to the proper authorities that a judge sitting in a case says things which he should never say.
Exactly.
That is the issue. That
Okay.
the judge in this case has made up his mind way and do with this case, so he's biased.
Even before he
Now,
heard
when
the
you
case.
get a complaint like that, that's why Joko is so important. He was in the government, he was a public officer, he was in charge of the public service, he was the minister that changed the laws. When an issue like that comes up, when we, the citizens, hear that it was reported to the correct authorities and they sit on it, not a couple weeks, almost a year, a man is writing every time, keep copies of his letters. Please inform me when something will come up. When will my complaint against the judge be heard? So, and then just left him right there. That can't happen in a free country. It's not whether the judge is biased or not. The judge is not even to put himself in the consideration where when people listen to him and watch him, he don't bias already. The important issue. But let me just switch gears a little because it's an emotional issue I see. Let me read the oath of office from the Constitution. I, whatever the name, do swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Belize. Jokowi took out the word to His Majesty the Queen. And I will uphold the Constitution and the law, and that I will conscientiously, impartially, and to the best of my ability discharge my duties as a judge, a minister, a police, or whatever, and do right to all manner of people without fear or favor, affection or ill will. So help me God. That is the oath of allegiance to the nation. Let me read section 34. Let me read section 34. Bear with me. Section 34 of the Constitution says, in the exercise of the functions of the Governor General, in the exercise of his functions, her functions, the Governor General shall act in accordance with the advice of the Cabinet or a minister acting under the general authority of the Cabinet, except in those specific cases where the Governor General is given her sole authority to act on her own, which she doesn't do. The Governor General represents the King of Britain. She is not elected by us. We have opted to have the King of Great Britain be the king as the head of state of our country. Even though we were fighting against the British to get our independence, when we got it, we said we will keep that because we have a neighbor next door who is facing enough to come in and we can defend ourselves. So it'll be harder for the attack on a country where the king is the head of state. The king is the titular head of state. He's the head of state. The prime minister is the head of government, an elected democracy. Finally, let me jump from 34 to
So then let me just
42.
so the chief executive under our constitution is the governor general.
That is correct. That is correct.
But it's a paper tiger.
That
In
is
your
correct.
words.
That is correct also. Can't interfere in the dealings of our country.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing. Section 42. The Attorney General shall be the principal legal advisor to the government.
Well,
So,
30 what?
But that doesn't
shall be the
stop
principal
fact that
legal
we also-
advisor to the government. It are the lawyer for the government, man. I spent a little time explaining.
No, I agree. But that all that you said there and how that concludes there doesn't, in my mind, stop them from being the person that advised the government on. To me, they're supposed to be the premier, the eminent constitutionalists, and their
But, sir,
advice to the government should
yes.
always be based on what is constitutional because they are looking out for the best interests of the people of the
Yes,
nation.
but let me give
And
you.
the con-
Yeah, let me give you an example, Gregory. Let me give you an example. If you have a business, or if you're doing something with your family that requires from time to time, you have someone who could advise you as to whether you're pursuing the law or you're violating the law. That person is your advisor. You pay him to advise you. He give you advice, and you say in your mind or with your family that we still want to go this road. You can't blame the advisor if you say you want to go that road. You are giving the Attorney General a power he does not have. He is the legal advisor to the government. He just advises. He advises you on legal matters. That's all. It's not that he give you wrong advice. It's not that he even give you right advice, but he's giving advice which you might decide for political reasons, for economic reasons, for a whole host of matters that you are not going to take that advice.
Here we go. We spend
I mean,
I'd like to add
you see, one of the big
hold on,
issues,
hold on.
one of the big issues I see with our current Attorney General, when he's a practicing law, he's able to stand up and defend the rights of individuals when their constitutional rights are violated. But then when he serves as the agent for the government in this instance, he shows up with a 13th Amendment that violates the rights of every citizen.
But
that
he's
could
just the advisor, but you get too much power where you don't have. He's the advisor.
Yo. We're running out of time and we're not getting any, we're really not getting nowhere on this one. And as the chairman, I insist we spend a couple of time on minutes here. We're not going to few, but I want to pick Dickie brains on a couple of things. Cyberbullying.
Good.
Cyberbullying. The minister is taking a young man to court because he cyberbullied him. Where you stand on that? Do you see that going anywhere? And
No, that's not going nowhere. That's not going nowhere. That's a foolish thing.
It was dumb on his part to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The China man grabbed the Levi around his neck and show kind of the teeth. He goes out of his store.
I'm not familiar with that. I'm hearing it for the first time. But you have a right as a citizen to conduct a citizen arrest if a crime is taking place in your eyesight.
You guys saw that picture, right?
I didn't
No,
see
I,
it. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
All right, man, that's interesting. You gotta make the news big. I mean, they were Argentina and Argentina, no Germany, and I hear that.
But
And I saw the big thing about and in fact, they wondering where they're gonna charge a Chinaman or because the Levi is supposed to be a minor.
yeah.
And I was, I'm too bad they didn't get that because I was wondering, right? And
Okay.
of course, the LIU program is on hold. They're gonna discontinue that. Is that a good or a bad move?
Very bad.
Very bad. Very bad.
It's bad from a number of perspectives. I'm glad you bring that up. I had it on my list as the second thing, but I apologize for going in a legal matter with bias. But there is this huge program, which we're not sure. The Prime Minister said it costs about $3 million. I can look on the budget and I see $4 million. The Minister of Youth and Sports said tonight on the television that it is $6 million or thereabouts.
Hmm.
Millions of dollars each year. However, first of all, who are the victims in this? It is the girl who get raped is the victim, not the rapist. The government have a program. This is not a new government we just come in. They've been there from November 2020. They have been approving the budget every year. So one day somebody says, you know all the money where they spend on them boy there and so on. They could have spent the money elsewhere and whatnot. Guess what they do? They stop the program cool. What should be done in a democracy, which we are all trying to see that our country have, is you call meetings with the guys or you call with their supervisors. You say to them, we are undertaking a review of the program. We are worried that a lot of man we said in the work, no work. We are worried that when all they wrong, they take out 5, 6 man, they chop one area, all kind of thing. Talk with them and say, do you all have some ideas we could better the program? Where uno could better on yourself because this can't continue. We need the money for other things. So we need uno input. Secondly, G. Mike Reed, when anybody, but let's deal with the government, when the government or a department makes a huge decision that will displace 500 plus persons, and you have nothing in its place. You mean while you're phasing out this wasteful program, don't you have something that you're gradually bringing in? Don't you have something to give hope to them that, well, you know that children are years ago they go chop the same grass over and
How
that?
do you
Nothing.
how do you respond to people who suggest that they're paying the guys to not commit crimes?
Well, I will beg your pardon and just quickly tell you a story. Very quickly, a very
Not long because we're over time.
well, I had a long breath, boy. I had a marathon man. You could ask the girl about me. I had no sprint. I had a marathon. All right, but listen, let me try and give it a quick summary.
They say you're a lawyer, Mr. Dickey.
A liar. Don't accuse a man like that, Greg. You're a
See
tricky
see
fellow.
what kind of friends I have, no?
You ought to be a liar yourself. You're trying. Oh, Dicky. But go ahead, Dicky. You were saying.
You they insult me, you they embarrass me.
Yeah.
So let me try and answer this way. First of all, like most governments anywhere, the government of Belize is wasteful. Wasteful. But let me show you a very serious matter. Bear with me, I'll do it in 2 minutes. The government buy the water dam, which the contract and all the agreements and whatnot and so, the term would have expired where Belize people would have get the dam in a couple more years.
10 years. In 10 years.
5?
$1.
I thought it was 10 more.
Just a nominal amount in law. You have to have a nominal amount.
Which was $1.
Yeah. We gone and spent hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, Andy, a handful of people chosen where Ray Lightburn called feeders They're bottom feeders.
They brought
They're
about it. So
like bilam and shrimp and so. They will eat anything when they could eat. Let me tell you what they did. They sat in a meeting authorized by the government with representative from Mr. Ashcroft and come up with two major decisions. One, that the government should buy the old Port Authority for $200 million. Let me write it here. 200M. They also came up with a decision, my brothers and sisters, that they will settle all of Mr. Ashcroft's lawsuit against the government for another $200 million. 200 plus 200 is $400 million. The
that's not
government
even interest.
sorry?
I said that's even without interest.
That with no other kind of money. The government wanted to, and it's still not fully finalized, they wanted to take $170 million from BTL to buy some old played out phone companies. $170 million. When you add that up, $570 million. 170 has not been spent. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty. I'm going to throw this in, G. Mike Reed, because there are serious matters that need to be discussed, and it's my fault for going to start off with a legal matter. Let's get this in. The government in the budget put in $400 million to start to renovate the Port Authority down there. Yeah, bro.
But the point you're making, the point is making that you can't discontinue one and waste money on the other side.
That's the point.
Priority.
Yeah. All right.
So
my point is, in addition to the figures I called for to you just now, when they agreed to buy the Port Authority for 94 point something million US, 200 million Belize dollars, when they made that decision, there are persons in the government who get legal fees and commission on that money. That the extra money on the 200,000. Let me say this, Gregory. I want you to remember this part. When it was officially announced that a decision had been reached and that they will pay $200 million for the port, guess what? The former Prime Minister who paid Mr. Ashcroft $540 million for a phone company which was assessed over and over in arbitration courts that it valued no more than $300 million, that Prime Minister who went secretly to Miami and met Mr. Ashcroft and signed a contract to pay him and paid him all his money one time out of the central bank and the reserves of the country, which is another matter I want to bring up. Bear with me, G. Mike. All these big figures, all these big figures that I'm saying to you, here what the one next big flaw, which I'm sure Joe would agree with me. Why we did not say, okay, we will buy the port for $200 million, but we will pay you $10 million every year. And any one of them things when they do, buy back BTL, why we take all of we money?
Can I say something now?
You get a chance right now. Can I just say
got more for say?
We have taken over $1 billion of our hard-earned monies and give it to a billionaire. And I am going to take it on myself, Greg, to go around Radisson Fort George and take the picture of this huge monster hotel where the man built out of we money. But before I yield, let me just say it. The former Prime Minister, who is accused of some egregious matters when he was in charge of the country, came out publicly and said, when he was Prime Minister, Mr. Ashcroft came with that same Hanasi story and wanted to sell him the port for $60 million.
You see how we said it? You see how
million.
You see all those examples?
Never mind how I say it, man. It's what
no, not how you say it, what you're saying. Can I say something without you jump down my throat?
No, you're not saying without I jump down your throat.
All right, remember, all that you said did nothing, did not give no response to the question that I asked you. All of that way you bring up a whole lot of old cases.
You really miss the point.
But are you missing my point?
No, you don't have no point. You don't have no point.
Seriously?
They
Only you
are
only you for a
closing. They
point.
are
What do I
closing.
mean? What do I mean? A law degree to have a
I
point,
think-
sir?
They are
I
closing
think-
down a program
I think-
arbitrarily.
I
The
think
people who waste for we money says to 500 other citizens, "Oh no, come."
Yeah.
You know,
They could waste the
and
money, but you see, we
when
don't
you,
pay attention to that. We don't pay
see,
attention to that.
you see, when you run with things like that, you get
But
the
that-
wrong impression. Because
No,
I am
but
not
Mr.
saying that I
Mr.
object, I support closing it down. I'm not saying, but you're trying to make it seem like that for avoid answering the question I asked you. Simple.
I think
You see
what
where I
we
was going
see,
from the beginning. I was going down the same road you saw already. That
I
they are
think
capable
I
of
think
wasting massive amount of money and get away with it. And all of a sudden they want to use the money for something else. So they're not going to no money for none of it. You're not phasing the program, you're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
They could waste $1 billion.
I
They
agree.
could waste $1 billion.
I
Yeah.
like to comment.
I
like to
agree. I
comment
agree
on
with you. I agree with you that is a valid point. The government consistently wastes millions and billions of
And we
dollars,
know it.
and
We
now
know
they're
it.
squeezing a program that serves a minority of black men in particular, and they are finding it difficult, and they're making all kind of excuse. They're gang members, they're all kind of things. They're Belizeans, and they don't have the opportunity to get a job. If they need to reorganize the program so that it becomes more efficient and they could better justify the spending of the money, that's what needs to be done, and not canceling the program and putting at risk 500 people that supports
There are not
still maybe
500
four.
people that put at risk. They're the nation. Then they put
Well,
at
the
risk. Guys,
nation.
them guys where today, if they're not gonna need money to come in,
Good
Yes.
point.
they,
Good
they
point.
should
Yeah,
make
good
it
point.
more efficient. They
Yeah.
should make them work for it, because just handing them money in their hand not to solve the problem.
I agree.
Yeah.
Make them do some. There are a lot of streets. I got a street right here up on the street. Floods every time it rain because my drain need cleans up. Make sure they have you need supervisors who will ensure that they do something for the money that they're getting.
Yes.
Value for
Agreed.
money. But now this does not say that any of those other wastages were okay, because they were not. But we should have addressed each and every one at the time it was happening and stay with it with the same tenacity. We can't make them get away with it. We can't make it happen.
Yeah,
If the judge said something that he shouldn't have said, that should be addressed, looked at it. We can't just kick the ball along the road every time, man. And this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
something.
We are in agreement. We are in agreement 100%.
Yeah. So at least we seem to be agreeing on something, but just for the purpose of emphasis. Mr. Bradley is making some assertions which have some serious fiscal and financial implications for this country. And I wish indeed that this matter would have been raised earlier, because I think we would have addressed the veracity of the statement indeed. And if we find it to be true, I think then we should talk more about what to do. These are the issues to me that meant much more than some of the things we were
If
talking
we
about.
find what to be true, the allegations he made about all his money is wasted.
I am saying
We know it. We know it is. We see it every day. We saw just before the last election, they decided to go and spend $6.9 million to buy land that they already have in Belmopan that could be used and would serve a bit better suited for the function of a hospital than to go out and buy a smelly area that is limited in development opportunity.
so, Mr. Morrison, we will take your statement to confirm the veracity of what Mr. Bradley is saying. What is the solution?
The solution is to have a more functional and accountable government. How we bring that about, I'm not quite sure. But I know that our government, as it stands right now, is doing
But you are
whatever.
Mr. Morrison, you are not
Yes.
giving me a solution. I want to ride across country. And you say, boy, I got some advice to give. And I ask you what? Why train hard? That's not a solution. That's not a
Well,
what
I
you're telling
think
me is not a solution.
What G Mike said is one of the solutions.
Yeah,
Put
let me repeat
them to do programs which are beneficial to the
yeah,
society.
That's
but
a
we were talking more broadly. I think that is a solution for that specific thing. I think
Right.
Mr. Corey is talking
I
about
have-
a solution for the problems our country is
The wastage of money.
corruption and
Address
misuse
it. Address it.
and abuse. And
You know-
it is very tough. And I think we need to get back to what you always talk about, finding a way to make sure that our accounts general is accounted for, and that we're being fiscally responsible, so that we're not
I don't,
approving.
You,
I would like to
gentlemen,
make a
yeah,
suggestion to the chairman. I would think that we should ask Mr. Bradley to come back on the show. And I think in the next session, we discuss these issues. What has been happening to us in this Caribbean mentality we have? Every time the dog shit front of the church door, we want to move the church door. That time when we clean up the shit, I'll deal with the dog. So
Well,
I would suggest that next time we ask Mr. Bradley to come back and make we discuss
but
governance.
I have two things flash in my mind when I was listening to G Mike just now, because that is a big part of the solution. Let us find an alternative.
That's
One
it.
of the two of the things that come to
That's
my
like the
mind is
United
because I recently bought some trees that I'm going to plant somewhere, not even per my land. I don't have a farm, by the way. But guess what? The expressed public view of the ministry responsible for whatever it is that they want to launch a let's plant 10,000 trees. Well, my brother, I am not good at arithmetic, but let me just try this. There are 500, there are 500 people there in this program. If each one of them, if each one plant one tree, that's a 500 tree.
Dickie,
Each one of
all
them
right.
plant 10 tree, that's a
Yeah,
5,000
yeah,
tree.
yeah. Well, I will get the point. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Some of those very guys hang around this area. I know them personally. One of the guy, a key player came to me and he want farm. He got a farm where his grandfather get. He want one thing, but when we turn over the soil, he wants to plant. If he goes, he will take 10 with him. Go plant land with him out there. Why can't they take some of that money and sponsor something like that, man?
That's right.
Why
Yes.
can't we help programs like that? And I've
Yes.
been trying. Can you advise me as to who I could take such a plan to? And see, the guy's willing to go with me and present the plan, and they know who he is, Panacea. And they know this is one guy who could cause problems. He doesn't want to do that. He would rather the alternative go plant, live on the farm,
To be encouraged. To be
and do.
encouraged.
My God, why would you
Chairman,
not?
let
Why
me
would you
follow
not?
up. Let me follow up on a suggestion. Why don't we do this? Why don't we identify people like that gentleman, and we get the minister, and we have a meeting at the Charles Burton Park?
But that would work for me, and I go with
All
Yes,
that.
right, let's
But
let's
see,
we invite
let's
Dickie to in.
go.
We pay for Mr. Morris to go if he want to come. But
Dickie, I brought
Let
it up,
I'm
and
serious.
Jeremy Spooner said,
yeah.
I'm
why you
serious.
not got a credit union and save Lee money every week, and then you could buy it for yourself one of these days?
That's not work.
Why, how stupid is that?
But you
You know?
better read the annual report of the credit union, and then you ask yourself.
But before we go off that issue, let me make a suggestion. Let us individually between now and next week sit down and make. I love that idea, G Mike. I write it as you talk. Let us let us canvass other people and say, boy, when anybody could have been put to some kind of use and so on, agriculture, this, that, that. Let us then write Mr. Minister Mala, who is the Minister for Youth and Sports and got on crazy budget. He get the tourism money. Let us approach him. Let us write a letter as 4 concerned citizens who want to see, since he says he support the program, but the one we have right now wasteful. Let us put forward some ideas. And between each of we must come up to 2 ideas. You know, it could be for we idea, it could be for somebody else. And we write and say, there is a group of guys that just need one thing. We turn the soil, plow the soil, they will
Yes.
handle themselves.
Correct.
One of the other thing, G Mike and Greg and Joe, is this business of starter house. You know, these starter houses that the government is giving out, for which they are giving out less and less, is costing $46,000 each.
Who's building them?
Yeah.
They give out the
And,
contract.
and they're not even 700 square feet. They're not
They
even
give out the
700.
contract to cronies, but $40 million. So let's say this. I have tried to advocate and I failed, but I saw it as an editorial in a mandala. You got a lot of money in a prison that they do not make could do anything. They're not violent, they're not there for any kind of violence or so. But these same young men, most of whom are prepared to sign up to some kind of program, could also tackle the shortage of houses in the society.
Yes.
And not all houses have to be cement because you have to buy cement from abroad, you have to buy all the material, the steel and so. We have a forest where the backyard that we're full of trees. I'm not advocating that they go cut thing, but I'm only saying all the house not have to be cement house. If you're in the rural areas or far from the coast and you're not liable for getting a hurricane, you could get a good, decent house. If the cement house they want, you have the labor and you have some of the expertise with the matter of plumbing. I could do plumbing, a PVC pipe you cut and you put glue and stick them together and it stick. So let us try to come up with two ideas each and let us pen a letter to the Prime Minister, copied to the Deputy Prime Minister and to the Minister Mala, who is the point man, whose campaign slogan was "He is a change agent."
Let's do it. I'll co-sign that anytime. We're way over time with 19 minutes past time. See why I must have gone sleep on it. Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Rick.
every day. Somehow you try to make your life legendary, worthwhile, rememberable. But most of all, just want to be unforgettable. What I'ma tell you is something you should all know. How it's all unforgettable. How it's so unforgettable. I think you all should know. What I'ma tell you is something you should all know. How it's all unforgettable. How it's so unforgettable. I think you all should know. Time and time again, as I pick up that pen, as I hit these curves, all the ghouls heads turn. Who's a conspiracy? How many going to burn? Pacifies like a Baptist, but the water burn. Trials, tribulation, turn a soft cheek, but I stand my position, watching them all freak. Outside when I be out on the beach in Miami-Dade County, when I roam on these New York streets. First take like Stephen A. Smith. Swag and perk, the podcast is on, I don't miss. Blunt in the air, cause you know it's all scheming out there when I put it in the air. Sketch, this is not grafted, it's not pornographic. It's transparent to what you're imagining. Top box, the raw mode, children for Rizzle. Red dot, we came to bend the dial a little. So check your clock, non-stop, we drag racing, all the way to the finish, stop. Freely banging it, Empire came back, watch how we banging it. What I'ma tell you is something you should all know. How it's all unforgettable, how it's so unforgettable. I think you all should know. What I'ma tell you is something you should all know. How it's all unforgettable, how it's so unforgettable. I think you all should know. So many lame, who's to blame? But we all can't, cause I came back like I mail out a stamp, cotton to the mouth. We wear all dog bark, cause when I come out, it's more the spark in the dark. Where you at, stay your lane. Respect that imaginary line, it's not a game. I might blow your brain, but I rather.
Many more is open. To the right one, Jaja subway, Rasta no need no token. One door is closed, many more. And it's that Jaja with the love, we heart will never be broken. One door is closed, many more is open. To the right one, Jaja subway, Rasta no need no